It's funny how you wake up when you're about to go on the show.
Yeah.
When you're about to go on air, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I was tired a minute ago. Okay, Ed, when you're ready, when they're ready.
Whenever you're ready, we're recording.
All right.
All right, here we go. Ed, you ready?
I'm on silent.
No, we got it. We're gonna use this goofy timer. Welcome to The Funniest Thing.
Yes.
Where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
That is correct.
I'm Darrell.
I'm Ed.
And we're broadcasting live from the Catch It on Cadre podcast van in beautiful Santa Monica Beach, California, Ed.
Oh, baby.
What do you think of that?
It's insane. Yeah, we had no idea we would end up here when we started this day.
No.
We're actually in the same parking lot that I come on a somewhat daily basis to surf. I actually have the pass for this lot, amazingly, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't, so it cost me $10.
Ah!
Now, you know what today we're going to do?
What are we doing today, buddy?
Today we're going to reimagine with love.
Yes. Today's show is called Reimagine with Love with James Ronan. We didn't even know James was going to be blessing us
We didn't know
today.
James until yesterday.
I didn't know James from Adam.
I know.
Regardless of what shows up in life, we have the power to choose how we respond. How we respond dictates the chain of events that follow. By choosing to reimagine situations with love, imagining that love is being expressed toward us, as well as flowing out from us to others, we are activating the supernatural miracle working power of God. On this episode, Darrell and Ed encourage listeners to expect and know that love is at work. Whatever it is, whoever is involved, see them in the highest light and magic will follow, guaranteed. And during the second segment, Lovable Imagineer James Ronan puts us all in the mood for love when we read and discuss today's daily word, which is free.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
I have been hanging my hat on Reimagine with Love. It's amazing. We get inspired with an idea early in the week for what our podcast is going to be, the topic.
Yes.
And then by the time it's time to do the podcast, usually we're both going, oh my God, this is just what I needed.
Oh my God.
And we needed this today.
Totally. I needed it today. Even when you sent me the description for the show, I had no idea what it was. It was just one of those funniest things. I'm driving, getting coffee or food on my break from work, and I press message from Darrell. I have my car read the message to me, and it read that description to me. It was everything I needed to hear because my mind was not imagining everything with love, and I was feeling burnt out, and I can't do my job when I'm feeling burnt out, and and I'm thinking I have to do it all by myself, and I start to imagine the people around me are like, out to get me. They're judging me. Everything that these kids are saying becomes like it's personal about me instead of just their story. And when I'm flying high and feeling good, and I'm seeing them as love. I don't take that stuff personal. I learn about them from the way they're expressing themselves to me. So that day, it read it, and I was just this perfect thing I needed to hear.
Yeah, because I got hit with a few things, plus the fact that the reason we're in this van, the podcast van, the We Cadre Catch It on Cadre podcast van, is because we were originally set up to record our show today at a new facility in beautiful Beverly Hills.
Right.
But
we mentioned that on a past episode that we were going to try that.
Move on up.
Yeah, like the Jeffersons, man. We were in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, well, there were no swimming pools or movie stars today. And it turned out to be a bust. But this is the thing. Even though it wasn't coming together, because of the topic that we already knew we were going to talk about, we naturally just, without even telling each other, we're naturally just in each other's presence within our mind going, okay, we did everything we could to try to make it work. We did the best we could.
We actually foraged through this studio and found the board, found the power. We were like just two or three items away from thinking, okay, we're gonna make this work. We're gonna do this show.
Yeah,
because we studio.
Well, we were promised that there was gonna be a engineer, and we were gonna have all the items.
Everything we said, you guys got this? Oh yeah, we got this. It'll be there. Yeah.
It'll be there.
It was a little suspicious when we didn't hear anything all week. We kept, when we sent the text, like the email, like they said, and the text, and
but we kept affirming this is going to be good.
The best.
It's going to turn out good, and this is the best thing because we don't get so hung up on the specific outcome.
Right.
We just keep affirming that feel like I started enjoying the good feeling. Like in spite of I have a funny feeling.
Yes.
Since we're not hearing back from these guys now that something's a little awry. But then I just started to reimagine it.
Right.
No, this could be great. Remember we were talking about guests could come on, and we'll have a guest with us on the show.
Right. We had mentioned that. That's right.
And it's weird how that did not happen today. And through a series of miraculous, unexpected, unforeseen events, even for us to be here right now, that is because of a cancellation.
Yeah, right.
Someone
totally
unexpected. Now we actually, the dream came true.
That's
because
right.
we have a guest in the studio. We're going to have a guest live in the studio.
That's right.
And we're doing it in a brand new place.
Yep.
That's, I think, nicer than that studio.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, this is incredible.
It's so comfortable.
So it really, that's what I have to keep hanging my hat on.
Yes.
Even when, like last night, I had trouble sleeping because I got hit with 2 big-time wallops.
Yeah, sure.
Out of my control. One was a big financial hit, and it made me feel a little bit like a victim and upset at the person it was coming from. But when I cast myself as, why is this person doing this, or whatever it is, when I make someone else out to be the bad guy, the nightmare gets worse in my mind.
Yeah.
Like the only way I could get out of it is I gotta bless them and bless the situation. And thank God Lori's on board with that too.
Yes.
Like she shared with me how upset it made her when she heard it.
Right.
But we both knew that, what? We cannot let ourselves get upset.
Yes.
We cannot,
can't live in that place and set up shop there.
No, or show any malice towards this person.
Right.
We have to bless it and move on. And it's hard to do in that moment.
I hear you.
Because I started getting really fearful of how is this going to unravel?
Right.
Is it going to get worse? And I can't afford the thoughts, the energy that starts going in that way has so much power and it feels so bad that I really have, all night long, I just kept, when I'd wake up, just keep doing an affirmation.
Right.
And the one affirmation that came to me, I heard a long time ago from Eric Butterworth.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure this is going to work or not, but you just grab whatever works.
Right.
Because I know I need to get my mind back to a point where I could just fall asleep peacefully again.
Right.
And it's, he would say, he breathes in and he goes, oh, shoot, now I can't think, but I said it all night long. He says, it's not be still and know I'm God. It's, oh, God.
You still know that I am?
No.
Another good one, huh?
No, it's I am.
God is?
Yes.
Yeah.
God is, I am. God is, I am. And then I'd fall asleep for a little while. Then I'd wake up and think, casting myself as the victim. That's the thing.
I hear you.
Whenever we're making someone else, because you think, I'm not casting myself as a villain. That person's rotten. As soon as I'm saying that person's rotten or how dare they, I'm saying I'm a victim.
Right.
So by this morning, and we talk about the importance of doing a morning routine.
Yes.
Because I got very little sleep. My mind was even telling me, what's the point of even doing a morning routine? You're not going to retain anything.
I hear you.
I was doing that.
Yeah.
But because it's become such a good subconscious habit,
right.
I made my coffee, even though I'm not even tired. I'm just over. I'm not. I don't need coffee because I'm overtired.
Yeah, right. It's
I
not
said,
gonna
I'm
do
just going
anything.
to go. I'm going to make the coffee. And it's funny because as soon as I sat in the couch, that healthy part of me said, wow, you're already starting to feel better. And then the little murmur of the bad,
I hear you.
Like the New Jersey guy in there.
Yeah, he's like trying to pull you back like the mafia.
Yeah, really. This is really working. But the main thing is, I did the readings. Some of them weren't even coming in.
I hear that. I know that feeling.
Yeah, I was just reading words.
Yeah.
but I wrote myself a note, a short one, and that's why it's good to have a little pad, a journal after you do your routine.
Yes.
Because I had to say things to myself. And, when we do these readings, the healing messages come. And this came to me, and it really helped me, Ed. It's, thank you, God, for clearing my subconscious and conscious mind of all fear and concern. I am free to exude nothing but love.
Right.
I say to this mountain of concerns, be gone.
Yes.
And I go, I stand on faith. I'm divinely guided. I keep my faith inspired by divine possibilities, like the wonderful ways this could turn out.
Yes.
I am willing to proceed in positive ways. And look at this. Today turns out to be a better than expected win.
Well, there you go. Here we are.
Yeah.
The better than expected wind is
Yes.
also, there's a ton of wind outside.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, man. It's all about, there's like, the thing I can really relate to this because of something came up that I had talked about on the past shows this week, that the credit thing that I got, the debt collection that I got removed and did the steps.
Yes.
Turns out that company just sold it to another company who they do the trick, which is they never reach out. But then they make it seem like they've been reaching out, and they report it to the reporting company as if they had been trying to reach out.
Well, that's the good news now, because now your that fear doesn't get you, because now wait a minute, I know this is a lie.
Right.
I know this part's a scheme here.
Right. Well, the good news was I already had the letter. I just changed the name and everything, but I didn't fully know because that fear kind of woke up again. So I can really relate to that feeling. Like, it felt really intense, and it felt like, what's the morning routine? What's the meditation going to do? This feels so like, because it used to be so all-encompassing. But I did the same thing, because for me and for what we're talking about, when we do it, it's just like brushing my teeth. I'm not going to skip it. We're not going to skip it. Our mind might be saying all this stuff, but we know well enough now that that's the very reason why we're sitting down to do it. Because I know that feeling too. Just reading the books, it's almost, I don't try to get something from it. But one little line, another little line. And what it does is it wakes us up to, we were just talking about this on another podcast that we just did. It wakes us up to the reality. There's a divine reality.
Yeah.
It's a whole different frequency.
Yes.
And it's far more real, because what I realized, like the old little nightmare I had was that there's not enough to go around. Someone else can step out of the shadows and do something to me and take everything from me. And, I'm a victim. And I heard that story in my family a lot. But this way, we're like up-leveling to a different way of living, which is, if by chance like your case, we have to pay, like this happened with the cars I just bought afterwards, I realized they didn't really tell me the best way I could have gone. I could have saved myself this money. But what I realized is, living this way, sure, maybe I gave a little extra money here, but it will come back to me, because there's no suffering really required. Like, God is not, the divine life is not asking. The suffering is something that I learned along the way, something that we learned along the way that I thought I had to suffer. There was some virtue in it.
No.
I believe that, like, we came in here to do things, and like, we are divinely supported, and the more we stay in alignment with who we really are, the more these crazy things like us being in this van right now just pop up. And this also came about because Stephen Tom Thorpe was in the studio helping us to try to do the podcast over there, and he had the zany idea, which sounded really kind of zany at the time. Thank God we just said, go for it or whatever, and he went for it, and then thank God our guest James was like, we'll work something out. We'll roll with it. And now we've learned more about the way he rolls with life. And here we are.
Yeah. Could I admit something embarrassing?
I would love to hear it.
So yesterday, after this all came crashing in, Stephen Tom Thorpe was with me at the time. Yeah. Which was good, because then he got to see. It was sort of like when you were with me in Costco.
Oh yeah.
And I had just gotten laid off.
And then
it's 30 days, and I'm like, honey, don't worry, as long as you're working.
Oh, yeah, right.
As long as you're working, and the amount I'll get, and this was before the unemployment was like these astronomical amounts it is now. I mean, this was just, whatever. Right. But I did my budget. I was like, as long as you're working, we're fine. Big shot. 30 days later, I'm with Ed walking into Costco, and Lori calls and go, they just let me go. And so Ed's there, which is good, because even though I'm getting a little rocky about it, he's there to bolster my faith. Plus, there's a part of me that doesn't want to really go full self-pity in front of another person now, where I used to think that would work.
Right.
You know? So that actually forces me to step into it with faith.
Right.
And all that worked out incredibly well. So, well, Steve's with me, and he sees, boom, one email that regarding my book, that was just kaboom.
Yeah.
And I'm going, oh, this is terrible. Right? And I'm going, oh. And he's trying to go, no, it's not that bad. And I go, yeah, I'm going to have to cancel this. I got to start fresh.
Right.
So he was there for that. As soon as that hits, Lori calls. And she goes, did you see such and such? And I go, no. She sends it to me. Oh, my God. Boom, another punch.
That was the one about the money.
The money and all this other jazz.
Yeah.
And because he's there and we're doing, and he was very good because we had another thing an article to write. So he said, let's just push through with the article. I was like, all right, which made me feel better. And then later on, we're at my place and Lori's not home yet. And he goes to me, you've been through worse. And instead of it helping me, I thought, wait a minute. He's right. My life has just been one long series of turds. As a child, all this terrible things. And I'm a nice guy, and this is happening. What's the use?
Right.
And man, those are that is not a good headspace to get in.
Yeah.
But
that's why I do believe we have to have some kind of we have to have some form of meditation.
Yeah.
No one's gonna talk me into it. That can be helpful.
Yeah.
But it really starts to shift when my own mind reconnects with that silence and that God within, that life within, and there's something about that really transforms everything.
Well,
because we don't have to convince ourselves.
That's right.
It naturally bubbles up, and it's like I start to breathe, and all of a sudden my mind shifts from looking at this little myopic, tiny little, it's like a little mobile that we used to make when we were kids, like a shoebox.
Yeah. And
there's a nightmare in there. We did a show. We called it a fart box.
Yeah.
We're putting our head in this tiny little nightmare. And it feels bad because we're clenching.
It feels horrible.
But when we meditate and breathe and read this stuff, we take our head out of that and just look around again and remember who we really are.
Well, and the key now is, thank God, deep in my subconscious mind, after doing the morning routine and knowing this stuff really does work for so long, that somewhere inside me now, the only advantage I have over anyone else who hasn't done it, there's no I'm not any more spiritual than the new person, except in the one thing I do have is that I have experienced now concrete proof that this works, and that gets in my mind somewhere in there. So even though I was thinking, oh, I wish I was dead, all these silly thoughts, I don't tell Lori that, because they're deep down in my mind goes, Darrell, this is all gonna shift, even though it doesn't feel like it's gonna shift at all.
I hear you.
But you were interviewed earlier, and you were saying, it's just, I know now, before, where I'd want to just run away, even anything, just run away, even into getting loaded, thinking this is a good reason to get drunk with the boys, just to escape. But now I know, none of that's gonna work, and this will shift. And I read this morning, and this helped me too.
Let's hear this.
Yeah, this is from a book called A Year of Miracles by Marianne Williamson.
If you go to darrellanded.com, there's a reading list. We don't make money off the books, but you can order them for yourselves.
Yeah. And this one was actually from today, from when we're recording this, which is March 5th. And it says, love is always pregnant with the next best thing. Life is always brewing more of itself. The universe is infinitely creative and never stops arranging opportunities to love. No matter what happened, even a moment before, the present is always a new beginning. God's mind rearranges time and space according to our willingness to love.
Yes.
Nothing in the world can stop the creative power of the universe. And her affirmation is great. Let me not forget that the universe is endlessly creating opportunities following my lead whenever I choose to love. And I needed to hear that, because then I knew if I choose to love the people involved
Right.
with these things instead of justify
Right.
why they're so bad,
Right.
I hung my hat on, they will,
Yes.
this power is going to transform the situation.
Right.
As I open my heart, life will birth itself through me. I will be amazed to see what comes forth from my heart. Amen. And already this morning, I was able to communicate with both people,
Yes.
still, hanging my hat on this idea.
Right.
Like the Emmett Fox, I can have my indignation or demonstration. I
Right.
really want to apply this love, because I want to prove that it's going to work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I left those, I wrote simple emails. And because when you're in this shaky state, don't just fire off an email. Even if I was feeling centered, but I still sent it to Lori.
First.
Both of them. Just take a peek.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, these are perfect. Boom, sent them off. And my mind went, ooh, are they going to react back? And I had to go, nope. I'm sending these with love. And I kept telling myself, it's not personal. It's just business.
Yes.
And it just got me detached.
Yeah, I love that.
And both people responded kindly, which was mind-blowing. Doesn't mean everything's changed.
Right.
I'm not sure how it's going to pan out, but at least the light is dawning.
I agree. The Ernest Holmes in 365 Science of Mind today, one part of what he said was, we're so used to thinking of ourselves as separate from one another that we suspect, suspiciously, the very feeling and emotion that causes us to embrace everything in love. The one who loves the most will live the most. We meet each other only in fragments, only partially, only in miserly ways when we refuse to open the whole awareness of our consciousness to the realization that there is but one living spirit. It says, today I'm going to meet each person and each experience as I feel it really is. I will endeavor to see the divine presence in everything. As I go forth today and embark on this wonderful experience of living, I'm on a journey of self-discovery and also the discovery of the self hidden in everyone and the power in back of everything. And when you were saying your story, I was just thinking, there's in the Bible it says, God has ways that I know not of, or something to that effect.
Yes.
Or you could just say, love, because I'm in fear, love, which is my true self, has ways that right now I can't access them. I can't see them. But there are ways that in this moment that I don't know about that are unfolding on my behalf. And I have to hang my hat on that.
I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
Because you know what Dugan used to say to me all the time when I'd get in these quagmires?
What was that?
He would say, Darrell, the universe is conspiring on your behalf.
Yes.
So I wrote that in there because I like that word conspire.
Yeah, I
because
love
it
that
sounds
too.
like they're really digging in to make it happen.
Right.
So I even wrote that this morning too. I go, Darrell, good news is in spite of how I feel right now, the universe is conspiring on our behalf.
That's like when I told you when I used the restroom after I figured out we're not using this Beverly Hills studio. I said, what should I do? And I heard that voice clear as day said, don't do anything. The thing you're looking for, the people that you're going to work with are looking for you right now. And look, here we are right now. So this is amazing.
Then I think you said, you want to go to Mulberry?
I did. And we had delicious pizza and a meatball sub, and that helped
in Beverly Hills.
In Beverly Hills. So, yeah, we love Beverly Hills. So let's take a deep breath and we'll do I think there was a wise sage by the name of Herman.
Yes, and I think he was a hermit.
He lived with some hermits, didn't he?
Yeah, he was, I think, a leader of the
All right,
hermits.
let's take a breath to clear our mind real quick here.
Okay.
He must have done a morning routine because this is what he said.
Okay.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
Ready?
Yeah.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
I think you actually said in four. That was original lyrics.
Oh, yes.
Something tells me I'm in for something good. I think we got a minute for that Alan Cohen reading, then we'll go to the break.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Let's hear
We're going to
that.
one last reading before the break.
Our old friend Alan Cohen.
Yes, this is from a book called A Deep Breath of Life. This
Yes,
is
sir.
this is show you, even though I thought none of these readings were going to help me, both these readings are from this morning, and this is also from March 5th.
Right.
And it says, if you offer a service, this went perfect for my situation. If you offer a service, welcome challenge from those who come to you to receive it. They are the contingent that will keep you on the cutting edge of your creativity and force you to go deeper into your latent genius. Your difficult clients will motivate you to open to the next level beyond the one that is currently comfortable and ultimately improve your skills. You are here to make the world a better place. Staying in the safety zone changes nothing. Stretching into our uncharted territory will bring light to places that were dark. Congratulations on signing up to be an angel.
Yeah.
And he says, I serve on the cutting edge of my destiny.
Dude, that's fantastic. We got to be like little children and be willing to drop our story
Yes.
about what life is like and just accept and embrace that love is the only thing that's going on. And just be willing, because when we do that, everything changes immediately. All right, coming up next, today's guest, Lovable Imagineer James Ronan, puts us all in the mood for love. We're also going to read and discuss today's daily word, which is free. Thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio. What's the story with this lot right now? So we have time, right? Because the sun's starting to set.
Yeah, well, we had till 6. What do they do?
Come in here now.
Yeah, it's like dark.